Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakodash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. The name of this lesson is The Protection of the Lord Shall Be Upon His Men. Which we need, the protection of the Lord, for what's coming in this place, for what the stuff what Esau bringing, robots, Terminator, AI, newly created beasts, all this stuff is coming. Okay, so we're gonna need that protection. So okay, let's start off with this precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17. It says, Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, and this is the prophet Ezra, who's saying this, which the Lord, gave him a vision, in the latter days, what's gonna come, what's gonna come, in this time, what's gonna come in this time. Okay, also woe, means destruction, so for him to say that, it means, it was some serious times, he saw what the Lord gave him. Okay, but Lord's learn, we, be the elect men, in that time, Jacob's trouble, we gonna be protected. Okay, the Lord gonna protect us, okay? Let's get this in the Blue Letter Bible. So like here. This is this is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 10. It says, There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Verse 11, For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Okay, which the Lord gonna be using the angels, to protect us also in that time, Jacob's trouble. Okay. Verse 12 says, They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Okay, verse 14, Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. Okay, since we the prophets, focusing, on doing the word of the Lord, pushing the word, glorifying, the names, the true names of the Lord, which is Yahweh, which means he is, he exists, and Yahushai, the Son of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, which means he delivers, or he saves. Okay, not God, not Jesus Christ. Okay. Verse 15, He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Verse 16, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Okay, so the Lord always gonna be, with us, protecting us. Lord's willing in that time. Okay, Jacob's trouble, when all hell, breaking loose. Okay, and when we call on his name, okay, he gonna protect us, okay? Let's get this Slovakia. Psalms again. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. It says, "The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. Verse 8, O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him." Okay, and the Lord gonna use the angels, to protect us also in that time. Okay, the angel is gonna be around us in that time. Okay, and we had to trust in the Lord in that time. Okay, and trust in him. Also, I do a video, about the digital ID. What they now bringing in the UK. On how, how they are pushing this thing. Okay, which now with the digital ID, you can't work. You had to have that, or if you don't have that, you can't work. Okay, so they coming down with the MOTB, which the real goal is, is that potato chip, okay, okay, that mark, okay, that's the real goal, that like you can't buy or sell unless you have that mark. Okay, so in that time too, we had to hold strong, we had to trust in the Lord. Okay, Yehovah Shem Yahushai. Okay, and in that time too, the Lord gonna take care of us, most willing, we gonna be protected. Okay, we gonna eat and drink. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 13. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." Verse 14, "Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit." Okay, and all of them, who take, the MOTB, take that mark. Okay, nothing gonna become good at them. Okay, okay. So the Lord gonna protect us in that time where we gonna be eating and drinking. Okay, because we did the work. This is Ezekiel chapter 9. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. It says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Okay, which that mark, is a sign of exemption, from the Tawa. Okay, so the prophets, that be prophesying, about this place, about the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. In that time, the men of the Lord, will be exempt, from judgment. Lord's willing, we will be protected in that time. Okay. So I hope this little lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal. Shalom.